What's up? What's happening? What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to episode 2 of Best 4. I am your host, Ryan McGettigan, alongside of our co-host, Christian Morris. Christian, how you doing today?
Peachy.
Peachy?
Yep, peachy keen on this Tuesday evening. How are you?
Pretty good. I had a good week.
Working that plumbing section, laying the pipe.
Working in that plumbing section, yeah, it's not the most glamorous life, but it's my life, I guess. If you'll notice, we do have a third screen on the podcast today. Currently, you can see his video. We are going through a little technical difficulties, so bear with us. But he is a recent graduate of Towson University as well, class of 2020. Everyone, please welcome Jeremiah Maltez.
Welcome.
What's good?
Jay, what's going on? Where are you at in the world right now?
Right now I'm in Perry Hall, Maryland.
Is that where you're from, I'm guessing?
I mean, I don't know if you asked my physical location. Nah, man, I'm from I'm from the Eastern Shore of Maryland, from a little town called Cambridge, Maryland. You might know it from the Hyatt. That's about it.
So, Jay, the topic we're going to discuss today is about Greek life. And one of the reasons why we wanted to have you on was because you actually were not a member of one, but two fraternities at Towson University. Is that
so
right?
Nice. Why not do it twice, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, without that, college would have been boring as hell, so...
Right, and I guess, so go through a little bit about your experience with both fraternities. I know, obviously, since we were really good friends at Towson, I guess you were in a business fraternity, and then in your senior year, you joined a social fraternity called Theta Chi.
Yeah, they were very, very different experiences for me. Like, the business one was obviously a lot of business. You dress up in a suit every week. You get up at like 7 and go to these events. Every once in a while you might hang out. I don't know how explicit this podcast is, but you would do some extracurricular activities every once in a while.
Anything you want, my friend. Anything you want.
But well, yeah, I'd smoke and drink with my friends. Well, I smoke a lot more when I was in AK Psi. But you'd do little get-togethers every once in a while in AK Psi, not too crazy. But then when I joined Theta Chi, that's when the binge drinking started. The famous binge drinking of everybody that goes to college.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things about really more social fraternities in college, especially in like a Theta Chi or something big like Kappa Sig or something like that, I think one of the stigmatizations, especially in Hollywood movies, is that fraternities are just a party 24/7, and that's not really the case. You guys, you do like to kick back every once in a while, but for the most part, you do have these little events that help different charities and all that. So I know at Towson, at least in some fraternities, they do have different, what's the word, philanthropies, I guess. What was Theta Chi's?
Yeah. Theta Chi's was like GI Theta Chi was, you would have to ask Charles more about that because I was only in it for a year, but it has something to do with like the military. They also had another sort of philanthropy that they did because of a brother who died from I think it's called AVN. It's like a brain aneurysm, so like they did a lot of stuff with that too.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you were in it for a year. Is there any reason it was just a year? Was it like really intense or just something you want to try out?
Nah, it was pretty much. I did the business one earlier on in college, and I did that one from like sophomore year up until the end of junior year, and then after that, I was like, man, I kind of want to just party, and and I wanted to like end college with a bang, so I just did Theta Chi fall of senior year, and I got in. Obviously, it's much more than partying, but you know, the stuff that you do in between comes with the party, and then I've never really been a partier before, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try for my last year at college.
And I think one of the other, I guess, sticking on this topic of stigmatization is, I think one of the big things is there's a lot of money involved in fraternities and sororities and Greek life in general. And one of the big things is people say, "Oh, you're only paying for friends. Why would you pay $600, $700, $800 just to hang out with a group of people?" Did you ever feel like that was the case, where they just wanted you for your money?
Nah. I mean, so to preface this, I mean, pretty much you do hand over a good chunk of your wallet when you join a fraternity or a sorority. Like, this shit's expensive as hell. But it's still fun. Like, you're not. I wouldn't say. I feel like if it was you paying for friends, and you wouldn't really make genuine connections, which I definitely did in both fraternities. But nah, it never really felt like that to me. And if it did, I would quit before I even spent all that money.
Yeah. Also, something else. So yeah, neither of us were in a fraternity, so it's like all secondhand experience. What was some of your experience with like other fraternities or stuff like this in your fraternity? I remember I had a friend who freshman year, he was like a little chunky, but also just like super nerdy looking. Right? He said he like walks up to a frat. You know, his friend in front of him, he's like, "All right, fives." You know, gives him fives, gets in. Right? And they see this kid, right? And they're like, "It'll be $20." And he's like, "What?"
20?
Yeah.
Armed robbery, right there.
Well, listen, they looked at him. They looked at him and they said he'll pay 20. This kid, like, come on.
You can't do that to people. That's just robbery.
No, man, they're pretty accepting of anybody as long as you're a cool person, you're fun to hang out with. It doesn't matter what you look like. There's all different kinds of people in both fraternities. Like,
yeah.
You see heavier set people, you see skinnier people. I know a very skinny person that joined fraternity freshman year, got in, and you know nobody really even made fun of it. I mean, they might make fun of you.
Yeah,
but like in the most friendly way possible, you know. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in my experience, the fraternity is usually pretty accepting of like who, like if you want to rush and you want to join, they're like, yeah, sure, like give it your best shot, you know. But in terms of once they start having the parties, you know, like you can only fit so many people in the house, you know, and obviously they're going to be a little selective. I'm not going to say who they're going to be selective towards, or, you know, like you got to have ratio. Right? I'm not going to say that's a thing, you know, but.
Sure, I mean, it definitely is, but I can't say. Oh well, I feel like that type of thing might go on in more like bigger schools. At Towson, it's like a very medium-sized school, so like house parties wasn't really the focus. The focus was to get drunk so you could go uptown and hit the bars. That was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, you might get a little bit discriminated if you're not a girl with that looks really good getting into the bar versus being that. But
yeah, sure.
You know, it. I never really saw too much of a selective. You know, like exclusivity to parties.
Well, I guess also, like I said, it was freshman year, and that's like the stereotypical thing, you know. Friday night, Thursday night, Saturday night, you look out your window and you see like the march of the freshmen, you know, where the party's at. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
So I know a lot of, with Greek life, Rush Week is a big thing. Talk about the process, if you can. I know you probably can't share a lot of secrets about Theta Chi, but if you can talk about that a little bit, describe what your process was through Rush Week.
I mean, there's really not even any secrets for Rush because it's all out there. You know, you just can't have you have events where you hang out with the brothers or whatever. You can't have like alcohol because then that means it's kind of like you're bribing them to get into to come and rush your fraternity, or like can't have anything to do with parties or girls or anything.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's got to be pretty much like a really neutral experience. You got to come out and just showcase your personality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember people mentioning like dry week.
It's almost like trying out for a sports team.
It is funny, like to compare the fraternity to the sports team, but I guess it is probably even more of a commitment a lot of the time. It's your life, you know.
Yeah, most of that.
So we're talking a lot about the social fraternity aspect and when your time at Theta Chi. Let's shift gears and I guess let's discuss your business fraternity life. Was it strictly to join just for making connections and just for, you know, trying to get better in school and get better grades, or did you also have that social aspect there?
So I mostly joined because my roommate at the time, he was in it, and he was like, he just said it was a great thing to do, and I didn't really have much of a heads up on what it was. He just said it was very helpful, and so I was like, all right, whatever. I went out there and had a good time. I wouldn't say it was strictly business. Well, the rush process is strictly business in a business fraternity. Like, they want you to come up, handshake, and you know all this bullshit. But you know, once you're in, it's you know, you're just hanging out with friends. You have you have your chapter meetings and you know, other stuff. Obviously, you have to have some sort of professionalism. But I mean, it was a cool time. It wasn't like, oh, you gotta show up to everything in a suit, or you have to, you know, shake hands every time you see a brother. Nah, it's just like, it was good.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned the handshake. It makes me picture, what is it, Harold and Kumar, one of those movies, where he gets to shake George Bush's hand. He's like so disappointed because he gives him like the floppy fish, you know?
Yeah.
That's all.
Nah, I've never seen those movies.
You've never seen any of those?
Well, yeah, that was one of the things that they look at when you rush.
Yeah, the floppy fish. Yeah.
So all in all, Jay, if you had to go back and do it again, the business fraternity and the social fraternity, would you make the same decision?
Yeah, I mean, I made some of my best friends out of that fraternity. It was a good time. Taught me how to conduct myself in my job now, because we had to send professional emails to the brothers when we were pledging. It's given me a lot of good information. So yeah, I'd definitely do it again. I'd do both of them over again. I'd probably do Theta Chi earlier, but I'd still do both of them.
And I guess one final question from me, Jay. I don't know about you, Christian, but one final question from me. I guess, so you said you joined senior year, correct?
Yeah.
So when you joined Theta Chi senior year, were they really accepting of having a senior in there, knowing that it would only be his last year, or were they welcome you with open arms?
Oh, I mean, they definitely. I got that question multiple times in like interviews and all that stuff. They're like, "How come you didn't come out earlier?" I was just like open and like, "Hey, I don't know. I didn't really know what y'all did, who y'all were." So I was just myself, and they didn't really care. I was there for a year. As long as I, you know, put in a year's worth of being a good brother, then it didn't really matter.
So I guess pro tip to everyone watching and listening out there, just be yourself in college.
Yeah. I feel like so many people I know, they did like their coolest or like their favorite club senior year. Because I guess a lot of people come in and it's like you have the things you did in high school, or you don't know what's available in college, you know, especially bigger colleges. There's all these like obscure clubs, you know, like video game clubs or like the rock climbing club, you know, or just stuff like that you don't even know is out there, you know. So senior year, it's like maybe you have a job, so you have like this much money, you know, and you can drive and you have a lot more, you know, you have a lot more freedom. So you end up just being like it's senior year, try something, you know. And I know so many people that's like their coolest thing, at least in my experience.
Yeah, definitely. And also like y'all said earlier, a lot of the clubs and organizations have stigmas that you hear about, and the longer you're in college, you start to realize that stuff's not really that true, and you're like, man, whatever. I'm not gonna keep judging these people from a distance. I'm gonna at least give it a try, and if I hate it, then I hate it. But most of the time, people do it and end up loving it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, Jeremiah Maltez, thank you so much for being on the episode today.
Full names exclusively.
This was really insightful. I think, I know I probably Christian learned a lot from this. So yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, of course, man. If y'all need a little bit more on anything else ever again, I'm down to be on the show again.
And Jay, if you want to real quick, just do like a shameless plug or something for any of your social media. And I know we're going to try to give you some claps here.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was just waiting for the opportunity. I say, my Instagram is J Maltez, or at J_Maltez. That's the only really social media I care about. But if you like listening to all types of different music, you can look me up on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Google Play. I don't even know that it still exists. Tidal. I'm on everything. iHeartRadio. Look it up. J Maltez, Maltez.
Tidal. I don't think I've ever heard of that one before.
I'm on everything, bro.
That's why you really came on the show today. You just wanted to plug your Instagram, your social handles.
I mean, that's why, the famous people go on podcasts.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That's true. A little promo tour.
All right, cool. Thanks again. Yeah, it was definitely nice talking to you. Enjoy your workout with Connor,
Yeah, no problem.
Catch you, Jay.
Appreciate it.
It was interesting how he mentioned, like, somebody just was like, oh, you should look into this, and he looked into it, because that's another thing. Like, I feel like so many things in college are just so random like that, or it's like somebody's like, oh, look at this thing, and if you actually try it, I mean, or you might get like 5 or even 10 of those suggestions, but it's like if you at least go to one of each of those things, you can like weed it out. Some of the stuff's pretty cool. Like even in high school, like that's why I played hockey for 1 year. You guys were like, oh, we don't have a goalie for the JV team, and I was like, all right, I'll suck, but I'll play. And then rock climbing, which was like 90% of my college experience was all Jules. Being like, hey, you should take this zip car with me, because we were freshmen, didn't have our cars on campus.
Those good old zip cars.
Yeah, let's take the zip car over to the rock climbing gym. And then I did have my car. I did, but I didn't. So I got many a tickets.
Wait, did, but you didn't. What do you mean by that?
I mean, I had my car, but freshmen aren't allowed to get parking passes, so I got a lot of tickets.
So you were a bad boy.
I mean,
in college.
I did want to be able to drive.
Don't
places.
listen to anything this man says.
No, being able to drive. I mean, I guess it's like also an easy way to have people who don't like you but want to go places, right?
It's an easy way to make friends.
Yeah, lots of runs with people who are going places with very authentic identification.
So yeah, like we said, I wasn't involved in Greek life. In Christian, you weren't either.
No.
If you had a chance, if you could go back and do it over again, would you at least give it the consideration?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think being a part of something, being a part of a social club like that would enhance your experience?
Well, the thing is, I think that experience of being really close with like a group of people is like really cool, and I think it just depends, because you move in freshman year and you don't know who you're gonna. I mean, if you know who you're gonna live with, then you probably should have changed more about your life anyway. Get some variety. But if you usually don't know who you're gonna live with, so like you don't know that you're gonna love your roommate or anything. Whereas you rush this fraternity or you rush this sorority, and you have an idea of what the people are like. So it's like sort of, I guess, being more selective or an easier way to like find that group of people. But you lived in an apartment with like 3 or 4 other people, right? And then obviously there's apartments around those apartments with your friends, and like you can have your 20 closest friends all living within a few flights of stairs. So I think that's like super nice to have. And I guess like if you're not someone who's like normally super social or anything like that, a sorority or a fraternity is like an easier way to have that group of friends that you can be really close with, that you might not get just on your own, just like talking to random people,
And I guess I was kind of in an interesting situation because you mentioned when I lived with 4 other people in senior year, 3/5 of my household, was in fraternities.
Yeah.
So I always kind of considered myself an honorary frat member because I was hanging out with people in fraternities, and people in fraternities always came and went to the house and all that.
That's what I mean. Like you said, so it sounds like you pretty much got mainly the experience, except,
more or less.
But you weren't, paying the fraternity dues, and it's not something you put on your resume to like show your commitment
and
to.
I didn't go to all the events, obviously. I went to a couple pre-games, but that was it for the most part.
Yeah.
I didn't do the charity work, and that's the one part I probably missed out on the most. I probably would have liked to experience that, but I had fun nonetheless in college. And
I mean, that's the thing. You can't do everything. You can try to do pretty much everything.
You only have 2 arms, though.
Yeah.
So, like, you're not going to spontaneously just grow a 3rd arm.
All right. Well, let's not elaborate on that anymore and have any jokes come out, about 3rd arms or 3rd legs.
Yeah. With this COVID vaccine, who knows what can happen?
Oh my God. Yeah, who knows? You might just never notice that you got it.
Exactly.
That'd be crazy. Almost like that's what happens.
Did you realize that?
Why? Because you're working at Home Depot?
Because I work at Home Depot, but actually I first found out because DoorDash actually sent me an email.
Oh, really?
DoorDashers are considered essential workers. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So I'm in phase
1A?
1C.
1C? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
pretty close. Not this one, not the next one, but the one after that.
ABC.
Right. ABC, and I think there's D.
1, 2, 3. I don't know.
Or does it go just to 2? Like 1
I'm like
1B, 1B?
I'm like 75D to get the vaccine, so I really don't know.
We're all down there.
Yeah.
We're all down there.
Yeah, so I guess that was all of our topics and our insight or lack thereof on fraternities, sororities, and miscellaneous clubs to join. Yeah. No.
But we did pay.
No.
We did pay Jay to be our friend.
He
was our friend for a day.
We paid him by giving him an advertisement to 3 people.
Thank God we have friends.
All right, cool. So that'll be all for today. Thank you guys. Sign off. Best 4 podcast.